Most people don't need more advice, just the courage to gently face what they've been avoiding.
Because growth sounds beautiful until it asks you to be honest with yourself and stay.
All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome to this episode of Touch and Empower. This is a lot of fun for us, and I'm going to bring in some more fun and enjoyability with somebody that I just took a class with. Her name is Anna. Anna has been studying the voice and its powerful connection to life, harmony, and vibration for over 20 years. Her integration approach combines the worlds of singing, the chakra energy system, psychology, and spirituality to help you to uncover your natural voice. She has been called a musical shaman who works between worlds, helping you to see what you cannot see and finding the natural and sacred voice that you have inside you that is innocent, wild, and free. The natural voice methodologies are a culmination of years of Anna's studies in the fields of psychology, spirituality, voice training, the nervous system, and the rich philosophies of the Kundalini chakra system. Her work, The Natural Voice, is a body of work that changes lives every day. She is a skilled voice expert who navigates the realms of energy and consciousness, helping you to uncover what keeps your voice tethered and stuck. Anna is a master of helping people to let go of what's in the way and uses the singing voice as the medium and guide to unlock their inner potential and emotional freedom. Through her unique approach, she helps individuals access deep layers of their consciousness, release trapped emotions, and find clarity and peace. As a singer, songwriter, and recording artist herself, Anna knows the ins and outs of what it takes to be a singer in front of an audience and to stay grounded and present in the truth of who you really are. Wow.
That is fantastic.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
God, who is this person? Thank you, Ace. Thank you for reading that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. As one of her students. Yeah,
Yeah.
it works.
Mhm.
It really works.
Awesome. Well, you have quite the voice, Ace. You do? Did you know that, Katie? Yeah.
I have listened to Ace speak frequently and has a very strong conviction when they speak. So
Yes.
it's very easy to listen to Ace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
She hasn't heard me sing.
That's not true. You sang when you healed me.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right. Cat's out of the
I
bag.
have listened to some of it, yes.
Oh, it's so cool.
I don't hear
Yeah.
you sing along with the radio, but I have heard you sing.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank you for
being
being.
here.
So I'm interested in how you got started with the singing and healing with the chakras and everything.
Yes, thank you. Good question. I I began as a singer first. Studied music at school, vocal jazz. I was in musical theater prior to that, and that was the goal. And recorded albums. I won all these projects. Won a recording deal, and so my whole path and my trajectory was really to continue with that for my whole life. And so I ended up doing 4 albums, but on the way through that big career and traveling and touring in parts of the world, there was my system was too sensitive. It was what was happening to me in the world was triggering all of these unmet emotions and repressed energy in me that I hadn't expressed and I hadn't purified, I hadn't dealt with. So I began to slowly start to lose myself in the world of performance. It's like I sometimes call it being blinded by the light. And I certainly did, and it's what was appropriate because that led me to begin to search out how to help myself. And of course, I had started teaching about the time midway through all of that performing, and that was really good. And then I started to tone into my body. There was just one day when I was so distraught and I was so disconnected from myself. And this is when I really started to feel a sense of guidance coming into my life, a sense of something that was helping me where I couldn't see. I was blind. So I just sat down one day and I began to pour the voice that had projected outside of me to the audience down inside of myself into my body. And I didn't plan on that, but I could only do like one or two notes at a time because it was so profound to me, this sort of other direction. And me dropping this voice into my body and the impact that it had in this other way. I mean, as we sing outward, as we are outward, we are also projecting and reflecting inward. But I had blocked that inward place. I just blocked it. I was projected outward. And so it just started to pour inside of me, and that was it. I was inducted, if you will, into this, oh my God, this is healing. Just one note can help me to connect to who I really am in that moment. Oh, so and then everything from there began to change for me, and I began to heal, which is always painful, but it's what we do, right? It's we have to evolve, we have to then purify. So
That's very impactful because I don't recall Ace's story off the top of my head, but for my own, there was that one moment where it's
yeah.
like everything I was doing outward reflected in. And that was the aha moment for my own healing journey.
Oh, yeah.
So it's amazing that you're able to do that with music.
Yeah, well, it has a weight to it, right? Like one note has like a grounding impact in our nervous system. So it makes it the perfect medium to land in us like a little tiny dime in the body to help me recognize that there's something in me, not just out there. So yeah,
No,
it's perfect.
yeah, it's so beautiful. And, so there was a really stark question that I asked during class, because I tend to do that. And it had something to do with, we were talking about shame. And we're going to go deep here, folks. So be ready for it.
Mhm.
We were talking about shame, and I was singing, and then I just felt like I was being weighed down. And I remember asking you, when it comes to your chakras specifically, and it comes to shame, because sometimes that can block your voice, or I remember it blocked a chakra and I felt like I couldn't access the amount of power that was there for me to sing.
Yeah.
um, could you answer that question again, of like, how do we really heal that through your voice?
Well, yes. First of all, this is actually what keeps people away from singing right here. This is the shame and humiliation component that keeps people wanting to perfect themselves across the board. But then when it comes to singing, there's a certain level of freedom that is required in order for us to express ourselves in this way. So then the flip side of that coin of freedom is the shame that is compressed and managed and compartmentalized inside of our nervous system, isn't it? And so whenever we're in front of people, anytime, even being here on this, there's always an element, an opportunity, let's say, for openness or any kind of dregs or remnants of shame that are sitting in the nervous system that might get triggered. So especially with singing, because there's all sorts of ways of sounding bad when we sing, and exposing ourselves in ways that we have not prepared for. And then that shame component in the solar plexus, and inside of the diaphragm gets touched and wakes up like a serpent. It wakes up and it says to you, you have to be quiet now. and you have to shut down and hold on, because otherwise they're going to see that what? You're not good enough, that there's something wrong with you, that your voice is somehow, da-da. So we're having to meet shame head on in this. And this is what I do in my classes is as we talk about it, it just becomes part of the class, as Ace knows. And so yeah, it's hiding inside of the diaphragm. It's like waiting to pounce all the time, but really it's just a feeling. And if we can start to then actually trigger it in the voice exercises and in the classes, sort of go after it and say, welcome, come on out. And so that we can be with it, and we can, I was telling a student today, actually, that a student used to bring a bucket with her to classes, and she would throw up because there was so much oppression inside of the diaphragm and the solar plexus that when she started to sing, it would unleash all this nausea. And so there can be quite a plug, hey, a plunger down inside of us. So, yeah.
Yeah. Katie, you got to try this class. I actually felt like taking your class. I learned things that I never knew, and I was air quotes vocally trained. I don't know how to explain that. Like I went to a voice coach from the age of like 10
Oh.
to 17, so like 7 years. And from this class alone, I was like, oh, wow, there are certain things here, even technically speaking, that I didn't know. And I thought that was incredible. And I was like, that was why I immediately emailed you. And I said, I want to take your class because you're teaching me things I've never seen before or heard before.
Well, I think, in traditional voice training, and by the way, 10 to 17 is the perfect time, isn't it? It's that development time. And it's also when the energies of shame and, adolescent angst come in. And so it's nice that you had that outlet to sing. Perfect. Yeah, so I can't remember where I was going with that. Anybody remember? Anyway, so, oh yes, this is where I was going. So traditionally, and even to this day, when you think about voice teacher, don't you have an image in your mind? You have
I have
like this.
three.
It's
I just see my high school choir director.
right, right. And like people and so when they come, first of all, and I will do my bowls and we'll connect to the breath and to the body, and then we'll sing into the body, and it becomes more about feeling and experience versus perfection and sound. However, because I've had so many years of voice training, and I'm also a very strong technician, those two worlds are very nice together. So the student goes through getting taken care of on their inside world, where they can be messy, they can feel that they don't have to be perfect. They can allow their emotions to be there and have a cry in the class, so that there's less load in the system, so that their voice comes out better. And then I can add a spoonful of technique that to somebody that's open and ready for that. Otherwise, it just becomes the teacher and the student, the authority saying, I know better than you. And really, meanwhile, in the classes, like today, I had this student again, I'm talking about her. She started, like, she said something that was so impactful to me that I began to cry. And I think, that's surprising to, the teacher's supposed to have her shit together, you know,
Fooey on that.
you know. So it's just the voice is so vulnerable yet so powerful. It has the potential for grounding, but there is so much in the way of it in most people because of the simple fact that there is a load of energy in the body that is being protected by the diaphragm. And letting it down. So that's just it, period. So singing is a threat to the system.
Mm.
And that makes sense because I remember when I was a teenager, my aunt, who is a professional clown, was talking about how fear sits in the kidneys, and that's right in the diaphragm area for like projecting your voice for
Oh,
either speaking or singing. And so that makes perfect sense to me that shame would be hiding in that same general location of the body as well.
So,
that's fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah, that whole psoas, kidney, all of the pelvic girdle, all of the pelvis and all of that compacted injuries for women, especially if they've had children or sexual abuse, physical abuse, anything that comes into the system that threatens the load that is being held, because there's another load in terms of the weight of the voice that is coming in like a weight. Like you said, Ace, like there was that weight that you felt on you, you know. There's good weight, and then there's, load of past repressed energy weight. The voice is a good weight, and it lands on the difficult weight.
Mm. So, what do we do to overcome the fear of, I think there was like the disturbance of disturbing all that weight underneath and being
Yeah.
able to, to, to fight. I feel like when I'm singing, sometimes it's like a fight to actually get my voice out. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, what tip can you give me or anyone out there that's also facing the same challenge to overcome that internal conflict or challenge or battle or war, depending on who you are?
Yes, yes. And it is an internal battle. It's a rising energy of expression and desire to be who we are. And it's a descending oppression that is meeting inside of the nervous system, isn't it? And they're battling it out. And so, first of all, this is really good news to know the components of this and this, because this up here is just kind of gone a little drunk and mad because it doesn't know anymore what it's doing. And this up here, the rising of us, doesn't even understand that there's this going on. And it's like drunk too, and it's fighting something it doesn't understand. So I think if we know that there's a descending force, and let's just in this moment call it like maybe a shadow king, an energy of the masculine that is coming down and is oppressing, and then there is the feminine rising in her wonder and movement and glory, and she wants to come up, and there's this seeming safety, but it's not safety, it's oppression now. So as those two battle it out, there is, with that awareness, we have to get flow. We have to get flow in terms of anything like let's just do it. Like we have to let the energies of breath and sound come out, but not in a way that is going to screw in the block. We have to let it. Do you know what I mean by that? Like it's quite something. If we fight too hard, it's going to reinforce the abuse, or it's going to reinforce that there is still a problem in the system in reality, and there's not. Did that come across? It's all finished. So the problem of the fight is that it's an old belief, it's an old past thing that has happened to each and every one of us. Would you agree?
I
Yep.
agree.
Something has come in and has caused a fight in the nervous system in order for us to be able to survive.
Hmm. So I'm getting called that we kinesthetically need to learn a little bit, and I'm going to volunteer our Katie
Oh no.
to try this because I'll do it with you, Katie, regardless. But I'm going to volunteer you to understand a little bit more
Oh,
as
great.
well.
Okay, so if you can do a lip trill or a rolling R, I want you to put your hand on your stomach and your solar plexus kind of area. Um, so right here, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I
put
like
it
that
there.
area.
Now I want this area, or I want it to go in as air and sound is coming out. So go for that.
I can only roll my R.
I can't do the lip thing, so it's got to be the rolling. I, that's
Okay.
interesting. I actually cannot do it high pitch. I actually have to do it a lower pitch right
Okay,
now.
do it lower pitch, yeah.
I can get, I'm going lower. That's funny.
So, Katie, what I'm noticing in you is that when you do that lower, what it's actually doing is it's actually locking up your solar plexus. So, I want you to go above and go just for a second, try this. Ah, as if you're yawning high.
Ah,
There you go. Now, good. And let's just try this. Ah,
now I'm gonna yawn. Sorry.
ah.
Ah.
And if you put a hand on your solar plexus and the stomach area, you'll feel that something from below is helping something get out above. Let's just notice that a couple more times. Something from below. Ah,
Ah. Yeah, I can feel the lifting, so to speak, of
good,
the diaphragm when doing that.
good. Now, part two, let's say, of this is that a lot of the time, the mouth above here, the jaws especially, which are a reflection of the pelvis, interestingly, they don't want to open because there's a lot of control and management in the system. So we have to let it open. Ah! So
So
open.
just let the jaw drop.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Perfect.
All right.
Don't force it. Don't go past the okay, yeah, but
I know.
although it's
Sorry.
good. Ah! Go up a little
Ah.
bit higher, Katie. You got it.
Ah.
And A's? Yeah, get
Okay.
a good breath in and a good
Okay.
breath out with a good H. Ah!
Ah.
Good. So now what we're doing here is we're just trying to get connection to the operating system of expression and space. So when we do that, there's a little bit of space that comes into the solar plexus, right? Into the body. It goes, okay, I've gotten rid of something. I've off-gassed a little bit. So you can do that on a lip trill, you can do that on a rolling R, and you can do that on sounds just like that. Okay? So now the next thing is, so how's that feel so far? All good?
It's actually like lightning. Like I didn't think that I was weighed down before we started the podcast because it's been a pretty good day today. But
Yeah.
I can actually feel a little bit like lighter in my shoulder, especially the injured one, which is really
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
that's what's going on. I see. Okay, okay. So now that is an outward projection, isn't it? What we're doing there. We're saying we want to have space. Now let's say that we do what it is that I had talked about in the beginning insofar as sound coming in.
Is that making the sound as you inhale?
No, what I
Okay.
mean is just now instead of noticing something going out, let's find a sensation in the body that is here and then bring the sound to the sensation. So there's a whole bunch of components, but one of the components in order to get connectivity and therefore access the load of energy and therefore heal the shame is actually feeling the body felt sense, the somatic. So in this moment, where is, Ace, a feeling in your body that is speaking to you, a sensation or feeling?
I am feeling like like gut area for sure. It's moving. I can feel that. It's like right above the sacral.
Okay. And you have a sensation?
Yeah, I felt something move.
Okay. So
Not
is it
nothing.
there? Is it still there right now? Is there a place that you could target? It's what I call target practicing. So, Katie, what do you feel? Do you have a place in your body that is like, oh, I'd love some sound?
The only part of my body that is actually like I can hear at the moment is my left shoulder, the one that's injured, but
Perfect.
it's not my whole left shoulder anymore. It's now like narrowed down to the size of a quarter, maybe. It's like I
Okay.
can feel there's this one point right here that I can that I can point to and I'm like the pain's right there.
Then it's perfect for target practice for your vibrations of your voice, which brings space and organization and the ability to be able to feel something that has been sitting there potentially. So it's like bringing the light. So so you have something that you can put your attention into and lovingly bring a sound. Doesn't matter. Vibration plus intention equals healing. It
Ooh, I like
doesn't
that.
matter, what vibration, the intention matters more than the vibration. So now, did you see that we were in a singing expression part before, and now we're in a healing sort of voice and energy healing now in this moment. So why don't you go ahead and just like where like I feel like I want to put it into my chin, like I've got something in my chin. So I would feel my chin, ooh, and I would mess about with the note until I felt that there was a vibrational match between the place. So let me do it. Uh, there we go. Oh yeah. And then I kind of like get rid of it.
Ooh.
Ugh. There.
Wow. Katie, your
Yeah.
turn.
Okay.
That's my I love how you're just like, Katie, go. Voluntold.
So just
Okay.
put a bit of a hand there, Katie, and just like nod your head, and let's just feel a sound that can go there. Yeah, good. Now I'm going to give you a vowel.
Mm-hmm.
E, ooh, 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 ooh. Did you feel that
That
slightly
that
go?
felt like it melted some.
Nice. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, and
That is wild. That is so cool.
yeah, energy. We're just energy, vibrational light. Target practice, go into anywhere, anywhere. So what? So you can feel now. Ace, do you want to do that for yourself?
Sure, I'm actually feeling it here now.
Okay, this
Like a
is really
little bit in the
good.
back of the neck, like
Yeah.
here.
So find a sound. Yeah, and just like you can put your hand there. Yeah, and just find a sound. Hmm. Good. Now that was nice, but I'm gonna tell you like I
Hmm.
just did with Katie, just sort of where I think it could be on an A. Eh, eh, eh. Yeah. I would do with you if I were working with you right now is I would go between an in order to get the jaws.
I'm switching notes. Hey, oh, ah, oh, ah. Yeah, it's that. It's that.
So you're on the block. Oh, there, that's landing more.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
there.
that's right. And now what's happened is you could go into like a wanting to get rid of something, because you've touched it now. Yeah. And then we start to get all physical, and then like the part in us, we could call the warrior of the solar plexus, which is the one fighting above, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's the warrior archetype. Now we're saying to the warrior archetype, we're going to give you a way out. We contact, find it, and then it wakes up. I just saw it anyways. I just saw it, right? It was like, and this is good. This is really good. So, everything leads to something else, doesn't it? So, yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Katie, I got to
I'm
hear.
I'm sitting here and I'm listening to it and I'm hearing the shifts in Ace's voice while they're speaking, Anna's voice while they're speaking. I can't hear it in my voice while I'm speaking myself, but hearing the difference of your voices over the microphones, which I know are tuned for speech, not singing, I
Yeah.
can hear a distinct difference of more of an inner strength almost
Mm,
with how we're speaking now.
Right.
And that's really impressive that just a few notes,
Yeah.
you know,
Like if
and
we're really precise, I'm very precise. We don't need to do exercises until the cows come home because it just makes us unconscious. We're not able to stay with the energy because the energies are so identified. So have us doing, tricks. The energies are going, oh yeah, I can make her spin. But if
yeah.
we're really present, right? And we're not afraid of being present with something that we are uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
and it's really helping root us in the moment, which
Yes.
I think is really important with any kind of healing,
Yeah.
because otherwise at least with me, my brain can go off in 30 some different directions and try and solve math problems from high school. But
Yeah.
this is like keeping me grounded right here in this moment, and that is absolutely fascinating.
I'm like you. I mean, why is it that I had to do all this and not had to? Why is it that this sort of took me? It's because I was so ungrounded and I was so vacant in myself. I had to do, like, it's been a long time I've been doing this. So because I can be so expansive and I can uproot. I grew up in the British Army, moving around. So I was born
Yeah.
in Germany and raised in Wales and England and part of my upbringing was about uprooting. So for me, it's easy to fly away, and not so much anymore because my nervous system, my whole body has been tuned. But there's still pieces of me that are not healed, you know. So it's a work in progress for me for sure, and that's what keeps me doing it. Though I don't know if I were to, I don't know who I'll be after I'm done all this. So like there's a note. I want to see Katie how this impacts you and
Okay.
your listeners. If I do this note, oh, Ace knows.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Yes,
Please do it. Yes.
yes.
Thank you.
You know, because there is a note. There are notes that are so pure. I can go really, really high. Ace is a high singer. Holy cow. And her and I were like, she went up so high and then I was like, wow, you and I could hang around up, really high. It's quite something, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The,
it's very
the,
fun.
the whistle register thing. I was like, this
Yeah.
was fun. But yeah,
So
and
those notes, they sort of a light blanket on them. They
mhm.
kind of just settle. What was that like for you, Katie?
It was almost like a feather touches.
Mm.
It was very light, very airy. I just kept seeing like feathers rustling
Oh.
when I was hearing it, but I also ended up getting a whole bunch of goosebumps, which f I notice happens a lot whenever I hear music that just either the notes or the words or something just hits me right where I needed to feel it in the moment.
Mm.
I am not the singer of my family by all means. My sister, Jamie, is the one that actually sings quite a lot with her three boys. And she's the one that always reminds me to do what makes my heart sing. And I struggled with that for the longest time, um, until I started my own healing journey.
Yeah.
And so now I can actually enjoy music again, which is great because my son brings me all kinds of stuff from Broadway musicals.
Oh, yes. Nice. Mm,
Mm.
beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful to work with you both here and to sort of have a sense of softening because I think one of the biggest parts that we are talking about here is shame and the warrior that comes in to protect us from that shame and is fighting all the time. When we find the right mixture of, there's always opposites to the work. There's anger, and then there's softness, there's passion, and there's gentleness, there's strength, and there's vulnerability. When those energies begin to get welcomed and, alchemized inside of the nervous system, you can't help but soften and just relax. So it's like dosing.
It's
Yeah.
very comforting for me, getting back in at least listening to music and occasionally singing along to it. Um, it is definitely part of that healing aspect, and I can just picture what it would be like to be in a room with people who are feeling incredibly safe and centered and sharing their voices to not only heal themselves, but people who are just listening in and not too thinking about it too much are receiving the healing externally, like through osmosis almost is the best way I can describe it.
Nice.
Um, so
Yeah.
actually, I remember when I broke my femur when I was in high school. And I remember one of the candy stripers brought his violin in and would sit in the hallway outside of my room and play his violin for everyone on the floor while I was in the hospital. And that
Wow.
memory just popped up in my head. So yeah, I do recognize the healing power of music. I just never thought about it with my own voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a penetration into an outward projection. What I mean to say is when the energies are coming in, they're going out. But if I say, oh, I can receive this for myself, before, maybe when I was, performing, I would be like, it's all for the audience, it's all for the people, it's all for them. But as I am doing that, I am allowing the energies to penetrate me. Just because I'm choosing to turn it into myself.
So it's really filling your own cup while you are serving others from the overflow.
Yes, and that's taken me a long time to sort of slowly turn around so that I'm teaching and that it feeds me, it doesn't starve me. Because for a
That's
long time it
important.
starved me, because I didn't know how to hold it.
Mm.
Because I still had quite a lot of load that was being carried inside of my body. And, I still do to some degree, but, I'm human. So uh, helping people now helps me and that's just reciprocal and healthy and for myself. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually really incredible. So, from experiencing your class, what was amazing was even though, let's say, you're not listening to everybody, or let's say I'm trying to articulate this correctly. So in the class of how many were we? I think we were 8 people, seven people.
8 or 9. The first time it
Mhm.
was 9. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was all on Zoom. And what was interesting was I actually didn't expect to receive healing on top of voice training and using your own voice to heal, but you actually receive healing as well while you're in the class from not just Anna's voice, but even some of the participants who, let's say, don't have 10 years of experience, but they're still singing, but you can still hear the healing in their voice as they're
Yeah.
singing. And that was really fascinating to me.
Yes, isn't it? And even more fascinating is I'm looking at all 9 people and they're singing and I can't hear them at all because I'm singing and I can hear them. I can
Yeah,
hear them,
Yeah.
that was
right? And I
cool.
feel like, oh no, you just have to go up one note and oh, there it is. That's just perfect because you just get to feel it so much. You know exactly what they're touching in their body because I can feel their body. So I know what the notes are. And then, at one point, I think Ace, I've said this a few times, we're just all looking at each other, and just the light and the energies are just like streaming out of the camera, out of the screen. And nobody can hear each other, but boy, can we feel each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is the sense of the vibrations going further than the actual sound.
Wow.
And it really does impact even just with the three of us. I mean, I'm excited to go to a networking event tonight so I can share everyone. I have a really cool sound healing person you need to talk to.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
it's really, it's sound healing and voice healing. Like we know about sound healing. It's like, people get trained. There's a course. You go and become a sound healer or like a sound therapist, a music therapist. Voice therapy versus voice teaching, I think is a sort of a relatively like, oh, well, what does that mean? What does
right.
that mean? And that's definitely what I do. Um, and so it's this nice mixture for me, I think, of if you want to sing and be beautiful and have a beautiful voice, yes. If you want to have the other benefit of it being, healing your own body and oh, cool, come along for the ride and get healed at the same time, or if you are somebody who wants to be healed and then get the bonus of having a beautiful voice. That's also it's both of those things, but it ends up being, I think, Ace, you kind of maybe noticed this in the people, that everybody just ends up wanting to feel good, you know. And great, because if their voices are feeling beautiful and free, that makes them feel good. And then it's just all of it. And it's nothing fancy. It's not, you know, I mean, I have studied, all the frequencies and all the mathematical stuff. It's all very fun, but it's not up here in the head. It's in the body. Yeah.
And I love how this can be used as a way to help identify our own voice. Um, I've shared with Ace before that for the longest time I thought I lost my voice because I was so busy being everything for everybody else.
Yeah.
And my healing journey has helped me rediscover my voice. This feels like another step
Yeah.
in gaining the clarity and confidence of using my voice to share the messages that I want to share, where before it was like,
Yeah.
I am not the TEDx speaker my mother is.
Oh, your mother is.
My mom
Okay.
is a TEDx speaker.
Wow.
So it's giving me more of that confidence that if I decide to do an audio version of a chapter for a book called Scars to Stars, I feel a little bit more comfortable now actually reading the chapter I wrote versus I was terrified of doing it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing all that, Katie, because it really does, I think, hit the nail on the head for so many, which is hearing the sound of my voice, hearing the sound of people share with me all the time. Hearing the sound of their voice triggers them so much that they won't do it. An ace, right? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There are
Yeah.
times when I'll listen to our podcast. I'm like, Katie, I can't, I can't. It's hard, and it's fascinating too because everyone has told me that I have a pretty good voice.
Yeah.
Additionally, I this thought has been in my mind. Like our voices, especially with the vocal training, I can definitely tell if a speaker was vocally trained.
Oh,
You could
yeah.
hear it, and
Right.
I think um, as we were discussing, like I can't hear my own voice even when I speak,
Yeah.
especially when I sing.
Yeah. Yeah,
What?
there's a load of shame that is in the system that is just needing to be met. And but I will say on top of that, Ace, not to be but I think that
Go
this
ahead.
is for women all over the place, especially powerful women like yourself, powerful people like yourself and Katie. Uh, you are drawn to doing things that want to use your voice to share and to heal and help people. And so, therefore, you're going to draw out the opposite energies of the darkness that you have to battle and to purify in order for you to gain the rewards and to upgrade yourself to be able to sit in the seat that you are wholeheartedly 100%. And we all have to do that at the pace that we do it. So the shame, I want to reframe that, Ace, because I think that, we just want to run screaming from the building when we hear the word shame, right? But it has been given to us like this. And it says, if you can deal with this load, if you can take this shame and to purify it, you will be purifier and you will be uh, purifying it and molding it into the energy of the powers that will then run through the sound of your voice. They will operate your voice. They will operate your voice versus shame operating your voice. Because the
That is
solar plexus
impactful.
energy, right, is running the voice. These are just neutral. These are neutral. They don't
Mm.
have a brain. They have a consciousness in here, but the actual vocal cords are just puppets for the energies in the body to run like a car.
Mm.
That is incredible insight on it, and it makes so much sense for different stories that I've heard about people who were getting ready to say something and all of a sudden their voice just stopped.
It's happened to me a lot. It's happened to me a great deal. I mean, yes.
And
This
so
is
I
real.
I love the fact that if I'm getting ready to speak now, I can just, even if I just turn my mic off so no one else can hear me, I can do the oohs and the ahs and hold those notes for for a few moments to reawaken the fact that my voice is impactful. And the only person that I have to worry about impacting is myself.
And that you're contacting that little inner person, that little powerful girl inside of you, and you're saying, I just want to help you feel alive.
Mm.
And it's just about you and this little inner passionate gem that is like wanting to feel alive, and you get to give her a voice.
Yeah, reclaiming teenage Katie's voice.
Yeah.
It has my reclaiming Katie's teenage identity is what I have been working on, but now I'm adding voice to that because this interaction has helped remind me so much about how I was fearless then, and I could choose to be fearless now.
Wow. And I think the singing is the real litmus test, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Right?
is.
We can
It
say that
is.
all we want, but then we're like, "I, and then somebody comes in the room and you're like, I wasn't singing. No, I wasn't singing. So singing around other people is a very good shame-o-meter. It's a very good gauge. Which is why people come to classes too, is because they
Hmm.
actually just want to meet this head on. And you got to do it in front of people, or at the very least online, right? Like Ace in front
Right.
of other people. Like people hadn't done it before. There are some people that had never done this at all. It's great because you get to hear the sound of a voice being heard for the first time, and that's pretty, you get to see all of the things going off inside of them, and it's really cool.
Oh, it's beautiful. I know. I want to keep talking, and I want to keep poking the bear with Katie of like, let's keep doing it to Katie. But we are coming up on time, so I would love to ask you this final question of what is a very key takeaway for people from this podcast that, let's say, within 30 seconds this tip will help change their life. I want to hear that from you.
Okay. Well, first of all, everybody has a voice, no matter what you think of it. Secondly, the sound of your voice is infected by your shame and your past story. Thirdly, everything can be transformed and purified if you have the right person guiding you.
Mm.
And everybody is beautiful inside. Everybody has a beautiful voice, and I can promise you that.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us.
You're so welcome.
I'm just feeling so light right now. It's like it,
And can I say one last thing just before we go? Just in case
of
anybody
course.
wants to do something lighthearted, I'm going to start doing what I call 30-minute connections. Tuesdays, noon to 12:30. They're just 30 minutes and they're packed with voice, body, spirit, mind, breathing. Just 30 minutes. And so they can check my website for that.
Oh, wonderful.
Fantastic. I'll make sure that it's in the show notes and
And you
everything.
guys can come for free.
Well, thank you,
Oh,
darling.
yeah, you can come for free so that you can get some of this. And it doesn't feel like it takes a long, long time, because that's the thing. People maybe don't have an hour, but maybe they have 30 minutes to dedicate to just getting some good, strong work done.
Well, thank you so very much. We are so grateful that you were able to join us today and share this new intuition and healing with our voices.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Ace. Lovely to meet you, Katie.
Lovely to
Yeah.
meet you too. If this conversation stirred something in you, don't just sit with it, work with it. You can go deeper with us through our sessions, workshops, and community experiences designed to support your growth in real time.
All the details are in the show notes, and if this episode resonated, share it with someone who's ready to meet themselves a little more honestly. Until next time, challenge what you believe.
Choose who you become.